Hello, 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 hello. Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to our Sunday session of Divine Femininity United. I am your girl, Dr. Bianca Miss B. Lee, and we are joined here together for our final chapter reading of The Power of Intention, written by Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. Oh my goodness. Hello, 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 everyone. How are you, my sister Mystic? How you doing, honey? Welcome, welcome. We are airing live, you all, on many platforms simultaneously. We're on Clubhouse, audibly only. We are on Facebook in two different locations. We're on LinkedIn, YouTube, and X, formerly known as Twitter. Yes, yes, yes. And she says, I am here. I see you, and I thank you for being here. You all, this is the end. This concludes our reading of this book, and it has been amazingly transformative. Amazingly transformative. Again, if you all don't have the book, even after this, get the book. Okay, get the book. Get the book. If you want to have it via Audible, it's available. If you want to go to Dr. Wayne Dyer's platform and purchase it directly, you can get that. If you want to get just the ebook version from me, you can get that as well. Get the book. It is amazing. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. In fact, it will enhance you in such a way that you have no choice but to change and be somebody completely different, which is unrobing, derobing from who you have learned to be, who you have become, the things that you have made yourself or gravitated to, or you've attached to yourself, and you're returning to the natural version of who you truly are. You know, that person whom we have not seen in quite some time. Okay. So this book, as the others that we are also reading as well, they are meant and purpose to get us back to where we belong, back to our basics, our origins, right? Our origins, who we truly are in spirit, who we were prior to coming into this body, who we are while being in this body, and who we will return as, you know. But while since we've been in this body, we've accumulated a lot of things that just simply don't belong to us. And books like this and every other book that we have journeyed through in this collective, they bring us back to our origins, right? So that we can return to ourselves, so that we can get to the post that we belong to be, that we're supposed to be on, pretty much doing the things that we're purpose in this life to do, not just to experience this human life, but to actually get down to the very mission of our very breath. Why are we here? Why are you here? Why are you here? Because I can promise you, you're not just here just to be somebody's mama, somebody's daddy, somebody's employee, somebody's entrepreneur, somebody's whatever. No, you're here to do things specifically assigned to you. Why are you here? Why are you here? The only way to get that answer, although several answers, because it is several, okay, is to answer the question, do you know who you are? Because once you identify the things of who you are, the makings of you, and you align with that and you remember who you are and you stand in that and operate and demonstrate from that perspective, then you can get to the things that you're purposed to do, right? While also enjoying the experience of humanity. Okay. But don't ever forget, you are not from here. You simply just are here. Okay. You're not from here. So don't take any of this stuff, this temporary stuff, don't take it so seriously, right? Don't take it seriously. It's temporary. You are not. Okay. Your physical body is, but you are not. All right. All righty, you all. So now, moving forward, we're going to go ahead and enter part 3. This book was broken up into 3 parts. We've already gone through parts 1 and 2. Part 3 is The Connection. It's entitled The Connection. And there's a quote here adapted from the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Okay. And it reads, man is in the process of changing to forms that are not of this world. Grows he in time to the formless, a plane on the cycle above. Know ye, ye must become formless before ye are one with the light. You must become formless. And I totally resonate with that, because that means that you must take off all of these labels, these categories, these things that limit you, because we become formed by way of what we believe ourselves to be. Someone told me I'm just a woman. That's a form, because I'm not just a woman. I am all beings. I am both masculine and feminine in my one wholeness. And so are you and every other person on this planet. Okay. We just don't, some of us may not tap into those other polarities, but we absolutely are both in one. Okay. Um, you're not just, black or white or Hispanic or whatever. You're not just that. No, that is a limiting cue. That is a form. We are formless. We are infinite. We don't have a form. We simply are. We are infinite all things. We are extensions of the infinite all one being. All in one. All in one. And we are extensions of the one. We are one of all. We are all of one. Okay? All of us. So to believe yourself to be only this or only that is becoming form, meaning boxing yourself in. And what we are not to do is to become form. We are formless. So if anybody want to put a stigma on you or put you in a box, don't allow them to, simply because they're in one. Okay. That's why it's imperative for you to know who you are. Because when you know who you are, when anybody call you anything other than what you are and who you are, you won't answer to it, because that's not you. All right. Let's move on. Chapter 15. A portrait of a person connected to the field of intention. That is the title of this chapter. A portrait of a person connected to the field of intention. It is led by a quote by Abraham Maslow, which is one of the psychologists that I absolutely love. He created the behaviorism theory. Okay, he, and then in conjunction with Carl Rogers, who developed the humanistic theory of psychology, which I love both. Um, Abraham Maslow's quote here says, "Self actualizing people must be what they can be. Self actualizing people must be what they can be." Self actualizing people, meaning people who self actualize, they must be what they can be. They must be what they allow themselves to be. They must be what they see themselves as. When you self actualize, that means that you have connected with who you truly are. And when you've done so, then that means that what you believe yourself to be able to do, what you're capable of doing when after, as a post self actualization, that means that you have to gain that, because that's what you see yourself to be. And so nothing will stop you from doing so. That's why self actualization, knowing who you are, is necessary. It's necessary, because once you know who you are, then you can connect with what you are capable of doing, which 9 times out of 10 is going to be all things. Anything you put your mind to, anything you set your heart out for, right? Here we go. A person who lives in a state of unity with the source of all life doesn't look any different from ordinary folks. These people don't wear a halo or dress in special garments that announce their godlike qualities. But when you notice that they go through life as the lucky ones who seem to get all the breaks, and when you begin to talk to them, you realize how distinctive they are compared to people living at ordinary levels of awareness. Spend a few moments in conversation with these people who are connected to the power of intention, and you see how unique they are. These people, whom I call connectors, to signify their harmonious connections with the field of intention, are individuals who have made themselves available for success. It's impossible to get them to be pessimistic about achieving what they desire in their lives. Impossible, okay? Rather than using language that indicates that their desires may not materialize, They speak from an inner conviction that communicates their profound and simple knowing that the universal source applies everything, correct? They don't say, with my luck, things won't work out. Instead, you're much more likely to hear something like, I intend to create this and I know it will work out. No matter how you might attempt to dissuade them by pointing out all the reasons why their optimism ought to be curtailed, they seem blissfully blind to reality check repercussions. It's almost as if they're in a different world, a world in which they can't hear the reasons why things won't work out. That is absolutely correct. That is absolutely correct. And it says here, a blind to reality check. You know why? Because when you're dealing with a connector, their reality is the reality of where they're from, which is the place of all things are possible. That's where I'm from. That's what I expect. If you engage them in conversation about this idea, they simply say something like, I refuse to think about what can't happen because I'll attract exactly what I think about. So I only think about what I know will happen, correct? I say a phrase that if you're not talking faith, you're not talking to me, period. Okay. If I set out a vision, if I put it out there and I see it and I put details to it, I expect it. It's not even up for debate. Once I see it down to the details, I expect it to exhibit itself, to demonstrate, to come to fruition exactly how I see it. I won't accept anything less than that. Okay. And that's a connector. Okay. It doesn't matter to them what's happened before. They don't relate to the concepts of failure or it's impossible. They simply, without fanfare, are unaffected by reasons for being pessimistic. They've made themselves available for success. Come on. They've made themselves available for success. And they know and trust in an invisible force that's all providing. Correct. They are so well connected to the all providing source that it's as if they have a natural aura preventing anything from getting through that might weaken their connection to the creative energy of the power of intention. That's it. Connectors don't place their thoughts on what they don't want, because as they'll tell you, the source of all can only respond with what it is. And what it is infinite supply. Listen to me. The source of all can only respond with what it is. And what it is infinite supply. It can't relate to scarcity or things not working out because it's none of these things. And I say to the source of all things, it probably won't work out. If I say to the source of all things, it probably won't work out, I'll receive back from it precisely what I sent to it. So I know better than to think anything other than what my source is. Infinite supply. Infinite supply. Once we understand what the source is, once we understand who we are in conjunction with the source, whatever the source is, so are we, then your words, your thoughts, your behavior, your feelings will change. I promise you. To the average person who has fears about the future, this all sounds like mumbo jumbo. They'll tell their connector friend to do a reality check and look realistically at the world they live in. But connectors aren't distracted from their inner knowing. They'll tell you, if you choose to listen, that this is a universe of energy and attraction, and that the reason so many people live lives of fear and scarcity is because they rely on their ego to fulfill their desires. It's simply, it's simply, excuse me, it is simple. They'll tell you, just reconnect to your source and be like your source. And your intentions will match up perfectly with the all providing source. Listen, it's simple. Just reconnect. Because clearly, if you're thinking scarcity and it can't work and all of this, and then the third, then that clearly indicates that there's a disconnection. Right? So just reconnect to your source and be like your source. And your intentions will match up perfectly with the all providing source. That's it. Bottom line. Okay? Reconnect with your source. If you're speaking or thinking in any way other than infinite supply, infinite supply of whatever it is, then that is an indicator that you have disconnected somewhere. Okay? Simply reconnect to your source and be like your source. And your intentions will match up perfectly with the all providing source. To connectors, it all seems so simple. Keep your thoughts on what you intend to create. Stay consistently matched up with the field of intention. And then watch for the clues that what you're summoning from the all creative source is arriving in your life. To a connector, there are simply no accidents. They perceive seemingly insignificant events as being orchestrated in perfect harmony. That's it. They believe in synchronicity and aren't surprised when the perfect person for a situation appears, or when someone they've been thinking about calls out of the blue, or when a book arrives unexpectedly in the mail, giving them the information they needed, or when the money to finance a project they've been intending mysteriously shows up. Come on here. And suddenly, we talked about that. And suddenly, and suddenly, I believe in the and suddenly effect. And suddenly, something can turn around. And suddenly, a phone call can be received. And suddenly, an email can be received. And suddenly, your bank can send you a notification. A huge deposit has been transferred. A wire transfer has made it to your account in the amount of two, three, four, five, $10 billion. And suddenly, I am completely aligned with the and suddenly effect. Okay, because I'm aligned with my source. Infinite supply. Connectors won't attempt to win you over to their point of view with debates. Not at all. They know better than to place a lot of energy on arguing or being frustrated because that attracts argumentation and frustration into their lives. Okay? They know what they know, and they aren't seduced into constructing a counterforce of resistance to people who live otherwise. Mm-mm. Everybody has a right to choose to be, think, speak, walk, act, and maneuver their way. But if your way of speaking, thinking, feeling, hearing, doing, maneuvering is counter everything that I stand on as an infinite being, connected to an all powerful, all infinite being, then we don't have a conversation. And it is no disrespect. I love you just the same, but I will love you from afar because you will not deter me. You will not distract me. And I'm not arguing with you about it. Okay. I have mastered the ability to connect to people, but be unattached to them. Because when that season comes for them to be able for them to shift out, I'm going to willingly allow the shift to take place. That's a fact. Okay. Everything on this planet, everything in this realm is 3D. In this 3D space is temporary. Seasons come, seasons go. There are some people that absolutely are supposed to be with you for the duration of your journey here, but there are also some people that need to shift out when that season that they were supposed to be in. It's time to shift. The universe expands, it moves, it shifts moment by moment. Nature changes, expands, shifts moment by moment. We are made of the same components of both the universe and nature, which means that we also shift and expand moment by moment. And some things are not meant to last the test of your journey. That's a part of our some of our problems. We don't know when to let go. When it's clearly trying to walk away, let it go. Okay? Let it go. All right. They accept the idea that there are no accidents in the universe, that has an invisible force of energy and a source that continuously creates and provides an infinite supply to all who wish to partake of it. They'll tell you plain and simple if you inquire. All you have to do to tap into the power of intention is to be in a perfect match with the source of everything. And I'm choosing to be as closely aligned to that source as I can. Two connectors, everything that shows, everything that shows up in their life is there because the power of intention intended it there. Period. Period. So they're always in a state of gratitude. They feel thankful for everything, even things that might seem to be obstacles. They have the ability and the desire to see a temporary illness as a blessing. And they know in their heart that somewhere an opportunity exists in the setback. And that is what they look for in everything that shows up in their life. Facts. Through their thanks, come on, through their thanks. Through their thanks, they honor all possibilities rather than asking their source for something because that seems to give power to what's missing. Let's listen here. They're not asking for anything because that gives power to what's missing. And to them, they know that nothing is missing and everything that's supposed to come will arrive in its perfect timing. Come on. They commune with the source in a state of reverent gratitude for all that's present in their lives, knowing that this empowers their intention to manifest precisely what they need. Come on, man. Connectors describe themselves as living in a state of appreciation and bewilderment. You're unlikely to hear them complain about anything. They aren't fault finders. If it rains, they enjoy it, knowing that they won't get where they want to go if they only travel on sunny days. Come on. This is how they react to all of nature with appreciative harmony. The snow, the wind, the sun, and the sounds of nature are all reminders to connectors that they're a part of the natural world. The air, regardless of its temperature or wind velocity, is the revered air that is the breath of life. Come on here. Come on here. Ooh, I sit in it every day, several times a day for hours at a time. It is, oh my God, it's majestic. I promise you. Connectors appreciate the world and everything in it. The same connection that they experience with nature, they feel toward all beings, including those who lived before and those who have yet to arrive. They have a consciousness of the oneness, and therefore they make no distinctions such as them or those other people. Absolutely. To a connector, it is all we. If you could observe their inner world, you discover that they're hurt by pain inflicted on others. Yeah. They don't have the concept of enemies. Nope. Since they know that all of us emanate from the same divine source. They enjoy the differences in the appearances and custom of others rather than disliking, criticizing, or feeling threatened by them. Their connection to others is of a spiritual nature, but they don't separate themselves spiritually from anyone, regardless of where they might live or how different their appearance or customs may be from their own. In their heart, connectors feel an affinity to all of life, as well as to the source of all of life. That's it. It's because of this connecting link that connectors are so adept to attracting into their lives the cooperation and assistance of others in fulfilling their own intentions. The very fact of feeling connected means that in the connector's mind, there's no one on this planet who they're not joined up with in a spiritual sense. That's right. Consequently, living in the field of intention, the entire system of life in the universe is available to access anything their attention is on. That's it. Because they're already connected to this life-giving energy system and all of its creations. They appreciate this spiritual connection and expend no energy on depreciating or criticizing it. That's a fact. They never feel separated from the assistance that this entire life-giving system offers. Yes, love on Clubhouse says this is next level. I'm telling you the truth. Therefore, connectors aren't surprised when synchronicity or coincidence brings them the fruits of their intentions. Not at all. They know in their hearts that those seemingly miraculous happenings were brought into their immediate life space because they were already connected to them. Come on here. Come on here. That right there. Ooh, Spirit, thank you. Ooh, y'all. Oh, this feels good. It feels good because it aligns. It feels good because I see myself and I'm so happy for myself in this moment because I'm reading the things of me and where I've journeyed from, you all. If you think about where your mindset was this time last year or this time 5 years ago compared to you being a connector today, you see what I'm saying? Oh my goodness, the change that has occurred. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful to me. I'm great. I'm having a Snoop Dogg moment right now. I'm grateful for me. I want to thank me. I want to thank me for giving myself the permission to have more, to be more, to live more, to experience more. Right? Because You have to be the one to say yes to more. You have to make a quality decision in your own self that I deserve more than what I'm living right now, than what I'm thinking right now, than the words that I'm speaking right now, than the behaviors you gotta be the one to decide first and foremost before anything can occur in your life, for your life, as your life. You have to make a decision within yourself that I deserve more. And then you got to see yourself as more. And then you got to move and make intentional steps and intentional actions as the more that you desire. You got to align with that. And then with intentional practice, you know what I'm saying? Consistency, I should say, it then becomes you. It becomes your nature, which is your original nature in the first place. Come on here. So in essence, you reconnected to your origins and you disconnected from what you were told you were or what you were conditioned or programmed to be. That's why I feel good because I'm home. I feel good because I am back to my own skin and not the skin of society or the skin of my bloodline or the skin of what somebody else said I can be. No, no, no. I am back to me as a connector. And so, yes, I give gratitude to myself because I had to be the one to make the decision. None of this could have happened for me had I not decided. You got to decide. You got to make the decision that this is it. I'm done being someone else, doing something else, living some other life. Love say yes indeed. Seeing yourself as your creator does. Come on here. Come on here. You have got to make the decision. You've got to make the decision. It's not going to happen for you. You got to do that for within your own self. That is the beauty of free will. You got to decide. And once you decide and then you yield, align, let those scales remove from your eyes so that you can see clearly, no one can tell you anything from there. Period. Because you begin to remember. You begin to reconnect. You begin to realign. And then from that point on, anything that is out of sorts with infinite supply, infinite intelligence, infinite peace, infinite, then there's an indicator. Wait a minute. I've shifted. I've adjusted. I'm out of alignment. I've disconnected. Let me reconnect. Let me reconnect. That's what that is. Ask connectors about it, and they'll tell you. Of course, it's the law of attraction at work. Stay tuned vibrationally to the source of all life that intended you, and everyone else here, and all of the powers of that field of intention will cooperate with you to bring into your life what you desire. They know that this is how the universe works. Others may insist that connectors are just plain lucky, but the people who enjoy the power of intention know otherwise. They know that they can negotiate the presence of anything they place their attention on as long as they stay consistent with the 7 phases of intention. Consistency. Connectors don't brag about their good fortune, but are in a perpetual state of gratitude and radical humility. Radical humility. They understand how the universe works and they stay blissfully in tune with it rather than challenging or finding fault with it. Ask them about this and they'll tell you that we're a part of a dynamic energy system. Energy that moves faster, they explain, dissolves and nullifies slow moving energy. These people choose to be in harmony. Listen, I need you to hear the word choice. These people choose to be in harmony with the invisible spiritual energy. They've trained their thoughts to move at the levels of the higher vibrations, and consequently, they're able to deflect lower, slower vibrations. Absolutely, with the quickness. With the quickness. Connectors have an uplifting effect when they come into contact with people who are living in lower energy levels. Their peacefulness causes others to feel calm and assured, and they radiate an energy of serenity and peace. They're not interested in winning arguments or accumulating allies. Nope. Rather than trying to persuade you to think like they do, they're convincing through the energy they exude. People feel loved by connectors because they are merged with the source of all life, which is love. Hmm. Connectors tell you without hesitation that they choose to feel good regardless of what's going on around them or how others might judge them. They know that feeling bad is a choice and that it isn't useful for correcting unpleasant situations in the world. So they use their emotions as a guidance system to determine how attuned they are to the power of intention. Come on. If they feel bad in any way, they use this as an indicator that it's time to change their energy level so that it matches up with the peaceful, loving energy of the source. That's it. That's it. They use their emotions. Connectors use their emotions as signals, communicating signals of the body, of the heart, of the mind, or whatever. If there's something emotional happening in our being, then what happens is we pause and we give attention to that area, because if there's a piece of sadness that wants to come up, we pause and we identify where that sadness is coming from. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like we don't fall prey to emotions. We use those emotions as a guide, as an indicator, as it's supposed to be. They'll repeat to themselves, I want to feel good, and they'll bring their thoughts into harmony with this desire. If the world is at war, which it is, they still opt to feel good. If the economy takes a nosedive, they still want to feel good. If crime rates go up or hurricanes rage somewhere on the planet, they still choose to feel good. If you ask them why they don't feel bad when so many bad things are happening in the world, they'll smile and remind you that the world of spirit from which all is intended works in peace, love, harmony, kindness, and abundance. And that is where I choose to reside within myself. My feeling bad will only ensure that I attract more of feeling bad into my life. And I am not interested in that. Okay? Not at all. Connectors simply don't allow their well being to be contingent on anything external to themselves. Not the weather, not the wars someplace on the globe, not the political landscape, not the economy, and certainly not anyone else's decision to be low energy. They work with the field of intention, emulating what they know is the creative source of all. Connectors are always in touch with their infinite nature. Death is not something that they fear, not at all. And they'll tell you, if you ask, that they were never truly born, nor will they ever die, correct? I am my energetic self. This body simply houses me temporarily. They see death as taking off a garment or moving from one room into another, correct? Merely a transition. They point to the invisible energy that intends everything into existence and see this as their true self. Because connectors always feel aligned to everyone and everything in the universe. They don't experience the feeling of being separate from anyone else or from what they'd like to attract into their lives. Their connection is invisible and non material, but it's never doubted. It's never doubted. Consequently, they rely on this inner, invisible spiritual energy that permeates all things. They live in harmony with spirit, never seeing themselves as separate. This awareness is key to their seeing the power of intention at work on a daily basis. You simply can't convince connectors that what they're intending won't materialize because they trust in their connection to the source energy so strongly. That's a fact. I don't envision anything that has never come about. That's a complete fact. That is no exaggeration. Okay. And I don't intend to stop. All right. If you can't do it and are stuck in worry, doubt, and fear, they'll wish you well, but they'll continue what they call thinking from the end. That's right. Once I see it in my mind completed, it's done, period. They can see what it is they intend to manifest into their lives as if it already had materialized. And for them, because it's so real in their thoughts, it's their reality. hmm They'll tell you forthrightly, my thoughts, when harmonized with the field of intention, are God's thoughts. And this is how I choose to think. You'll see if you follow them closely enough that they're exceptional at realizing the fruits of their intentions. That's a fact. Connector people are exceptionally generous. It's as if what they want for themselves is dwarfed only by wanting it even more for other people. Yeah. They take great pleasure in giving. Others may wonder how they ever accumulate anything for themselves, yet their lives are filled with abundance, and they seem to lack nothing that they desire. The secret to the power of intention, they'll tell you, is in thinking and acting the same as the all providing source from which all originates. It's always providing, and I choose to be a provider too. Come on. The more I give of myself and all that flows to me, the more I see flowing back to me. Connectors are highly inspired people. They live more in spirit than in form. That is a fact. Ooh, that's a fact. I have to remind myself to come down sometimes. I really do. Oh, my goodness. Consequently, they're inspired and inspiring as opposed to informed and filled with information. These are people who have a strong sense of their own destiny. They know why they're here. And they know that they're more than an encapsulated collection of bones, blood, and organs in a skin and hair covered body. That's a fact. They're all about living this purpose and choosing to avoid being distracted by demands of the ego. Mm. They have great reverence for the for the world of spirit. And by communing with this source, they stay inspired. You better believe it. Their level of energy is exceptionally high. It's an energy that defines them as connectors. It's the energy of the source, a fast vibrational frequency that brings love to the presence of hatred and converts that hatred to love. They bring a peaceful countenance to the pleasant presence of chaos and disharmony and convert the lower energies to the higher energy of peace. When you're around those who dwell in the field of intention, you'll feel energized, cleansed, healthier, and inspired. They have a noticeable absence of judgment toward others, and they aren't immobilized by the thoughts or actions of others either. They often get labeled as aloof or distant because they don't gravitate towards small talk and gossip. Yes, I have completely I have been told that I think I'm better. I've been told I am antisocial. Honey, it's not that. I love to be around you. I just don't like to engage in foolishness. I don't like to engage in the foolishness. And even if I find myself, because we're human too, right? So when I find myself slipping into foolish conversation, I check myself in that moment publicly out loud, and then I draw away because I'm such a stickler. I fiercely and savagely love myself, okay? And all things me. Fiercely and savagely love myself. I said what I said, right? Which means I am so adamant about the term you are what you eat. Meaning, however, whatever we consume, whether it's physically in our bodies or in our mental space, what we hear, what we listen to, what we watch, what we play on the radio or in our music or in our, music of choice or whatever, what we wear, different personalities that we're around, our connections, friends, jobs, all of the stuff. I am such a stickler about what I consume in all forms because I know that it doesn't take a long time for things to become planted in the soils of our hearts and minds and spirits and stuff. And before you know it, we will be acting out of those things that we've just consumed. Especially if you keep consuming it over and over and you watering the seeds, i.e., reality shows, Bad Girls Club and Love and Hip Hop and all of this crazy stuff, or staying in some gossip, some foolishness, who's sleeping with who, what the Kardashians doing, which I could not care any less, okay? Keeping up with the Kardashians. That's the problem. This is we're a society of trying to compare and contrast and keep up with people and all of that stuff. No, no, no. I'm keeping up with the things of me. That's what I'm keeping up with. Okay. And if it's not expanding me, if it's not growing me, if it's not, inspiring me, if it's not, elevating me, I am not interested. It is no disrespect to anybody who may be, but I promise you, and I love you just the same, but we just don't, we don't have that in common. I don't want to have that in common at all. Okay. So that gossip and small talk, y'all can have it. I promise. I love you. I really do. Just call me back here when y'all talk about something for real. Okay? Call me back. Call me back now. All right? They'll tell you that it is the spirit that gives life. That everyone on this planet has this spirit within them as an all-powerful force for good. They believe it, they live it, and they inspire others. They'll even go so far as to tell you that imbalances in the earth, such as earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and extreme weather patterns, are the result of a collective imbalance in human consciousness. They'll remind you that our bodies are made up of the same materials as the earth, and the fluid that comprises 98% of our blood was once ocean water, and that the minerals in our bones were components of the finite supply of minerals in the earth. They view themselves as one of the planets, one with the planets, and feel the responsibility to stay in balanced harmony with the field of intention to help to stabilize and harmonize the forces of the universe that can get out of balance when we live from excessive ego. We are all interconnected, y'all. Okay? They'll tell you that all thoughts, feelings, and emotions are vibrations, and that the frequency of these vibrations can create disturbances, not only in ourselves, but in everything that's made of the same materials. We are interconnected, people. Love says we must be impeccable with our words. Impeccable. Because we are creators, okay? Love Lachey on Facebook says, amen to that, honey. Amen. I mean, Ashe, and so it is. Okay? We must be impeccable with those words. Welcome, welcome, Essence. Oh, I love that image, honey. Yes, ma'am. It's giving very much Angela Davis, honey, in her prime. I love it. Connectors will engage and will encourage you to stay in vibrational harmony with Source out of a sense of responsibility to the entire planet. And they regard this as a vital function to emulate. Yes, yes. This isn't something that they think about and discuss from a purely intellectual perspective. It's what they feel deeply within themselves and live passionately every day. As you observe these connectors, you'll note that they don't dwell on illnesses and sicknesses. Nope, diseases, not at all. They move through their life as if their body is in perfect health. Perfect health. They actually think and feel that any current disease pattern has never been present. And they believe that they're already healed. You better know it. They believe that they attract the new outcome because they know that there are many possible outcomes for any given condition, even for a condition that may seem to others to be impossible to overcome. They'll tell you that the possibilities for healing outcomes are here and now. That's right. And the course that an illness will take is a matter of their own perspective, just as they believe that external turbulent systems become peaceful in the presence of our peace. They see this as a possibility for internal turbulence. Yes. Ask them about their healing capabilities, and they'll say, I'm already healed. And I think and feel from only this perspective. You'll often see their illnesses and physical complaints disappear when you're in the presence of exceptionally high energy connectors. Why? Because their high spiritual energy nullifies and eradicates the lower energies of illness. It does. Just as being in the presence of connectors makes you feel better because they exude and radiate joyful, appreciative energy, so too will your body heal by being in this kind of energy field. Connectors are aware of the need to avoid low energy. They'll quietly retreat from loud, bellicose, opinionated people, sending them a silent blessing and unobtrusively moving along. That's a fact. They don't spend time watching violent TV shows or reading accounts of atrocities and war statistics. No. They might appear docile or uninteresting to people who wallow in the horrors being discussed and broadcast. Since connectors have no need to win, to be right, or to dominate others, their power is the fact that they uplift others with their presence. That's it. They communicate their views by being in harmony with the creative energy of the source. They're never offended because their ego isn't involved in their opinions. Connectors live their lives matched up vibrationally to the field of intention. To them, everything is energy. They know that being hostile, hateful, or even angry toward people who believe in and support low energy activities, which involve violence in any form, will only contribute to that kind of debilitating activity in the world. It's so true. The connectors live through higher, faster energy that allows them to access their intuitive powers readily. They have an inner knowing about what's coming. If you ask them about it, they'll tell you, I can't explain it, but I just know I know it because I feel it inside. Consequently, they're seldom confounded when the events they anticipate and intend to create manifest. Rather than being surprised, they actually expect things to work out. By staying so connected to source energy, they're able to activate their intuition and have insight into what is possible and how to go about achieving it. Their inner knowing allows them to be infinitely patient, and they're never dissatisfied with the speed or the manner in which their intentions are manifested. That's right. Because once I put it out there, it's out there. The how is none of my business. Like, I don't consume myself with how things are going to get done. I don't care about that. The fact that I can envision it, complete it down to details says that it's already done. It says it is already done. I don't care how it got done. I know that it is done. And so, in order for me to bring that thing that I see finished into my now, then that means that I'm gonna go ahead and elevate myself to match the energy of the finished thing that I want. And then energy finds itself. Energy matches itself. Right. So that's how I manifest. That's how I do what I do. And I get it every time. Connectors frequently mirror the seven faces of intention written about throughout the pages of this book. You'll see people who are extraordinarily creative, who have no need to fit in or to do things the way others expect them to do. They apply their unique individuality to tasks, and they'll tell you that they can create anything that they place their intention and attention and imagination on. Absolutely. Connectors are exceptionally kind and loving people. They know that harmonizing with source energy is replicating the kindness from which they originated. Yet, it's not an effort for connectors to be kind. They're always grateful for what comes to them. And they know that kindness towards all of life and our planet is how to display gratitude. By being kind, others want to return the favor and become allies in helping them achieve their intentions. They associate with an unlimited number of people, all of whom are full of love, kindness, and generosity, assisting each other in fulfilling their desires. You'll also notice how connectors see the beauty in our world. They always find something to appreciate. They can get lost in the beauty of a starry night or a frog on a lily pad. That is so true. They see beauty in children and they find a natural radiance and splendor in the aged. They have no desire to judge anyone in low energy negative terms, and they know that all creating source brings only beauty into material form, and so it is always available. Connectors never know enough. They're inquisitive about life, and they're attracted to every manner of activity. They find something to enjoy in all fields of human and creative endeavors, and are always expanding their own horizons. This openness to everything and all possibilities And this quality of always expanding characterizes their proficiency at manifesting their desires. They never say no to the universe. Whatever life sends them, they say thank you. What can I learn? And how can I grow from what I'm receiving? They refuse to judge anyone or anything that the source offers them. And this always expanding attitude is what ultimately matches them up with source energy and opens up their life to receiving all that the source is willing to provide. They're an open door that's never closed to possibilities. Yes, they're an open door that's never closed to possibilities. Be an open door. Come on, how many of you all are open doors that's never closed to possibilities? Oh, I love that. This makes them totally receptive to their abundance that's always ceaselessly flowing. Come on, ceaselessly flowing abundance. Yes, this makes them totally receptive to the abundance that's always ceaselessly flowing. These attitudes that you see in connector people are precisely the reason that these folks seem so lucky in life. When you're around them, you feel energized, purposeful, inspired, and unified. You're seeing people whom you want to hang around with because they energize you. And this brings you a feeling of empowerment. When you feel empowered and energized, you step into the flow of abundant source energy yourself, and you inadvertently invite others to do the same. The connection isn't just to source energy, it is to everyone else and everything in the universe. Connectors are aligned with the entire cosmos and every particular particle within the cosmos. This connection makes the infinite power of intention possible and available. These highly realized people think from the end, experiencing what they wish to intend before it shows up in material form. They use their feelings as a gauge to determine if they're synchronized with the power of intention. If they feel good, they know that they're in vibrational harmony with source. If they feel bad, they use this indicator to adjust to higher energy levels. And finally, they act on these thoughts of intention and good feelings as if all that they desired were already here. If you ask them what you can do to make your desires come true, they'll unhesitatingly advise you to change the way you look at things, and the things that you look at will change. I urge you to replicate their inner world and rejoice to the infinitely magnificent power of intention. It works. I guarantee it. Mm. And that, you all, concludes our amazing book reading through The Power of Intention, written by Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. My goodness, you all. That was awesome. Again, you all, it is not too late for you to get the book. If you want to read it on your own and you didn't have it, you didn't have a chance to kind of join us and follow along with us, reach out to me, okay? Inbox, back channel, email, whatever you need to do. You text message if you have my number, whatever you need to do, okay? Send me your email address and I'll send it over to you in the ebook PDF form. That way you can have it and read it on your own. I think everyone needs this. Everyone needs to get your book, okay? So to receive it, go ahead and get your reading material. Also, you can send me an email at info@biancamissblee.com, okay? Or you can contact us. You can contact us by way of text, okay? 706-570-2630 with your email address and your name so I can know who it is so we can get it over to you, okay? Alrighty. So listen, you all, our next book, we have another book. Okay. Mystic says awesomeness on YouTube. Awesomeness. Thank you, honey. Awesomeness. Follow on the website too. You all go to the website on Clubhouse. It's above my head, so you just simply click the tab above me. Everybody else is on the screen, and it's also in the caption, so you all can be able to do what you need to do there too, and follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as well. All of the information on Clubhouse is in the captions. You can do that, or there's a link on the website that'll take you directly to there as well. Okay. If you want to follow on Clubhouse or from by way of Clubhouse, then if you go to my website, for those who are watching and listening on the other platforms, go to my website. There's an option there to connect, join Divine Femininity United. You can do that from the website. It'll take you directly to Divine Femininity United on Clubhouse, and you just hit join, turn on the bell notifications, and you'll be aware of all the sessions that we have to coming together. Okay, you all. The next book that we are reading is called Power versus Force. Power versus Force. Now, that book was absolutely recommended by this author that we just completed, right? Wayne W. Dyer. He kept mentioning this book, Power versus Force. He kept mentioning it. It's by David Hawkins. I mean, he was quoting out of this book left and right. And I said, well, shoot, if he's quoting out of it, then why don't we just go on and read it? Hello, somebody. So that's our next book, Power versus Force. All right. And as we all do, I always give you a break, 1 week break in between to kind of let you woosah, kind of take in and digest the things that we just finished coming from. And then when we come back, which is the following Sunday, so next Sunday we won't be in session. The following Sunday we will. Okay. So when we come back the following Sunday, we're starting our new book, Power versus Force. If you want to get that book, it's the same methods. Reach out to me and I can get the book over to you, okay? In your email, reach out to me. That way you are right at the very beginning of our time together, okay? And you can join. And even if you can't come into one of the sessions in real time, I love the fact that I broadcast in multiple places simultaneously because they all archive and replay the recordings. So if you can't be with us in real time, for the replayers, that's what we're here for. We got you covered like a blanket, okay? All righty, you all. Listen, I can release you back to your Sunday evenings, all right? I try not to keep you longer than an hour. Sometimes we do run over depending on how high the energy is flowing up in here, right? But I am glad that we were able to in this book, and we're able to move on to our next. This book was amazing, and I'm so grateful to you all for journeying with me through this book. I am. I'm so grateful. Mystic is sending all of her love from YouTube. Thank you, my love. Thank you for your support. Everyone who's been supporting over the years on all platforms, I'm so grateful for all of you. I often say, and I know it may look like there's only a sprinkle of people here, there, and everywhere. I promise you, I am okay. You know why? Because I'm not for everybody. I'm for somebody. And you all are the somebodies, okay? Even the people who run and see it after the fact or on the replay and things like that, whether they listen to it today or 10 years from now, guess what? They got it at their perfect time. I am okay with that because that means that as long as I'm in my rightful place, they'll be able to get what they need whenever they come across it. I'm okay with that. I've never been one for big numbers and popularity. I don't care nothing about being popular. I came from the entertainment arena, you all. I was signed at five, sang all the way up to 2013. If I wanted to be, and I sang behind some of your favorite mainstream artists, wrote for them, played bass guitar with them, toured with them, made arrangements and productions with them. If I wanted to be famous, I can guarantee you I could be. I would be. I can go back into the industry right now if I wanted to. I don't want that. That's not my bent. It's not my purpose in this life to do so. Okay? It's not my purpose. My purpose is to do what it is that I'm doing right now. This is what I'm supposed to do, to assist, to journey through, to be the mother for a lot of everybody. To be the nurturing embrace, to be the reminder of who you are, to be the reconnector to yourself. My coach told me I'm a memory coach. She said, I know you got all of your degrees and all of your paperwork and everything upside the wall, but what you ultimately are a memory coach. Your job is to remind people of who they are. And once you do so, then they can stand in it, exhibit from it, demonstrate, and do what they need to do in this life as well. I'm here for that. I love that. I love that for me, and I love that for you too. Okay. All righty, you all. Listen, I love you. I mean it. There's absolutely positively nothing you can do about it. Don't you even try it. We're going to be back here in 2 Sundays from now. So not next Sunday, the week after next, okay? With the new book, Power versus Force. Get your books, inquire about your books, all right? All righty, you all have a great rest of your Sunday and go into next week. All hits, no misses. All we do is win, no matter what, okay? All righty, you all, peace.